Do it.
Hey, hey,
We're back. Let's go. Babbling fantasy football. We got,
Apple Fantasy Football.
we got Ryan right here, and we got Chuck, who was at some amazing game this yesterday, actually. So
And Ryan and I were just chatting. We were at the Vikings game yesterday. Well, we saw them blow out the Bengals. Can't talk. It's been a long Monday. I went there with my fiance, so we got tickets last minute for about $100 at 16th row and got to witness the game.
that's a great deal right there. And obviously, super excited and hoping. I know we talked about it a little bit last week how it was a little letdown on Sunday Night Football, and we're a little bit worried. I know it's just one game against backup QB, but put our defense back on the map. Isaiah Rodgers might be a waiver wire pickup. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That could be. But he had some crazy yards and touchdowns and everything yesterday, which is just sweet to see. Yeah, now we go out overseas. You think we'll win? What, probably one or two of those games, hopefully?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be tougher games than people think, and it's always tough adjusting to the time zones and whatnot. Teams always look, I feel like, different overseas. I think we'll look better the second week that we're over there because we'll be acclimated to it.
Yeah.
I think we have the advantage that second week, even though that Browns defense does look really good. But I mean, hopefully we beat the Steelers. We're the better team, I think, overall. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's going to be the tougher game out of the two. I know Cleveland just ended up beating Green Bay, but I still don't think that Cleveland's all that good, especially offensive wise. It could be a low scoring battle in that one, but I think we'd have the defense to end up winning this game. I'm a little bit worried about Pittsburgh. I just think they're still a pretty solid team, and they have the veterans on their team, and their defense actually looked all right against New England yesterday. I know Drake may still put up some good fantasy points, but as a whole, they look better. So, and that Ireland field, you never really know what could happen. But
That's true. Hopefully Rodgers doesn't beat us one more time. I feel like we got about a 500 record against them, so
yep,
50-50.
with a lot of wins coming recently. But there we go. Well, let's go Vikings and let's go to this waiver wire. Uh, you got some people, Chuck, should we start off QBs here first that we maybe want to pick up potentially before Wednesday's waiver wire for most leagues?
Yeah, I mean, not a big change in quarterbacks this week. I think it's just reiterating the same names we've been saying for the last few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess last week, the first waiver wire show we did. But Daniel Jones, he's proven he's going to be quarterback one. I think if he gets into the end zone rushing, he could be a high end quarterback one on that week. This week he didn't, but he still is sitting at like the quarterback 15. So I think you'd still be okay with that if you're struggling for quarterbacks. Drake May has been playing phenomenal these last few weeks. Those are just two names that come to mind. Ryan, you got any other quarterbacks
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
you'd be
just
looking out for?
would really say I like the Daniel Jones one if he's really still out there. I mean, his he doesn't play really hard teams necessarily. His division is pretty easy. Houston obviously does have a solid defense, but I just think that the Colts could have a really good record, and Daniel Jones will keep this going, especially when they have to worry about Jonathan Taylor a lot too. So that's obviously a good one. I would say maybe a small ad. Don't put money really on him. Geno Smith. He had a good week 3 and week 1. He was good, and they throw the ball a lot. I know G&T has been complaining for carries, a little bit worrisome, but so don't put much on Geno Smith, but he did do well last week. And he threw to a guy that Charlie will probably talk about, or he will talk about during the wide receiver part of this. And then week 1, he did pretty well too. So don't. I ended up. What did I do in one of my leagues? I traded. Oh yeah. I ended up picking up Geno Smith anyways in one of my leagues. I think yeah, Joe Burrow got hurt, and I picked up Geno, and he ended up getting me 27 fantasy points and a win most likely. So he helped me out this week, and I think he'll continue that too. But
I agree. Not a lot of news in the quarterbacks.
yeah,
Just kind of based off a matchup. So listen to our starts of the week. Maybe we'll give you a nice guy to stream this week, won't we, Ryan?
yes, we will. Hopefully it'll work out this time. But there's a big running back out there with it because of an injury, I would say. Charlie, if you want to touch on him, I know he came to your mind first. So I'll let you mention his
Well, I
name.
mean, I just threw out names before either of us had thrown out. I'm sure you would have mentioned him first right away, but unfortunately, we saw James Conner get ruled out for the rest of the season. So
Mhm.
that leaves Trey Benson, Arizona running back, to get the full workload there. And surprisingly, we had mentioned his name in like the waiver show last week as just like a handcuff guy that you should really have, especially if you have James Conner. And last week he even had 13 touches, and that only came with about one half. I think he's going to be in for a full workload there. And I mean, the offense is pretty good. Their wide receivers are awful. They're in Arizona, so I think he could get a lot of dump offs too. So I like Trey Benson a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And at the end, we'll just talk about some Fabi had put down. But no, I'd say that's kind of the biggest running back. I don't know if you had any others. I am seeing here quickly that I mean, Woody Marks for the Texans, he ended up having he's kind of split snaps with Nick Chubb. It's just the Houston Texans offense is not good at all, so it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Wouldn't put much on him though. And then yeah, like you were saying, there's some other handcuff guys like Blake Corum, potentially. And then now that Najee Harris is out, maybe go after Hassan Haskins for the Chargers. And then that's kind of, I will say one thing. Was it P. Ryan for the Bengals? Not really. I wouldn't put him, obviously, don't start him or any of that stuff. But Chase Brown has been getting the entire workload the entire year for Cincinnati so far. And P. Ryan had his first carry yesterday against us, and he got 12 yards out of it right away. While Chase Brown has been not been performing well, and yeah, I think he had like 47, 43, and like 30 yards respectively in the first three games. So just maybe something to keep an eye out on. And I know that offensive line in Cincinnati's also not really that good. But those are just some other running backs I could mention. Sorry if I took the rest of them for a minute, Chuck. But
No, 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 you're good. And one guy you mentioned last week that I think he was the number one back last week was Tootin. I think he
yeah,
played pretty well. He might have even gotten in the end zone. But yeah, I think the big thing is we've seen so many injuries this week or this year that you've got to handcuff. If you have a top handcuff, you have to pick them up because if they get hurt, you're gonna have to go spend up for their backup. So like me, I have CMC in our league. In the other league I have them in too. I have Brian Robinson Jr. already in both of those leagues, and I would never drop them just because I know how valuable they are.
yep.
MC were to get hurt. So go pick up those handcuffs.
No, it's a good point right there, Charlie. Yeah. Um, it's smart to have them because you never know. And there was a lot of injuries yesterday, unfortunately. And a lot of them obviously were wide receiver related, but some were definitely running back related, like Connor. So handcuffs are important. But
Agreed.
I want
I'll
to move
let you
on.
get on wide receivers, but just some top handcuffs. You know, these guys should be on your roster. If I'm okay, if you're the Brees Hall owner, go get Braylon Allen. If Ryan mentioned Blake Corum, if you're the Kyron owner, go get him. You just want those top. All right, Ryan, you want to touch on some wide receivers?
Yeah, no, those are good points right there. Yeah, I know you have some of the bigger ones. I guess I'll just
I
honestly
mean, no,
kind
no, you can touch on the ones that were those are shared talk about. You don't have to.
yeah, no, I just have one big one for me, just personally. I just have like what I've seen out of Tyquan Thornton quite a bit on the Chiefs yesterday, and Worthy. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back, but maybe not. Rasheed Rice is still out, obviously suspended. But I mean, I had Hollywood Brown starting the league, and Hollywood Brown, I think he had 8 points, I think total. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Needed him to win, but instead, Tyquan Thornton, sorry, he had 5 catches, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had a great catch yesterday too, 9 targets. And I just think it's going to continue because maybe they were saying during the broadcast yesterday that he looked kind of like that Xavier Worthy role, but honestly, based on what I've seen in the deep balls Mahomes kind of been throwing. I know he's not at that Tyreek Hill level yet that we saw in KC, but I think there really is a potential he gets there, especially with how he's catching the balls too. So he really is. I think he'll keep on producing that stuff too because he's quick and he can catch. But then I'll just do like a maybe a small one. Luke McCaffrey, he's had 2 good weeks here, kind of too, with Washington. You never really know with Mariota or Jaden Daniels, but yesterday McCaffrey had 56 yards and a touchdown, and Terry McLaurin got hurt too. So there's something to look on as well. Those are just my 2 big ones. So
I,
mainly my number one big one, honestly.
I agree with those names. They should definitely be picked up. Tyquan Thornton might be a little bit of like a shorter stint, kind of how we talked about Hollywood. I'm just that's how I'm feeling because of the Xavier Worthy. There's a chance he'll be back this next week, and then Rashi Rice obviously will be back in week 5
Yep.
or so. Yeah, for a couple weeks here, I think he'll be good. But yeah, the only other name you didn't mention, Trey Tucker, the receiver for the Raiders. He looked very good this past week. He was the wide receiver one overall on 9 targets. He had 8 catches for 145 and 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Obviously, the touchdowns aren't gonna continue every week, but this guy is big. He's fast. I think he ran like a 4.29 in college at one point. So I mean, he's super talented. Just a matter of if you believe in that Raiders offense. Again, we'll talk FAP at the end, but you liked what you saw against Washington this last week. He's got a couple of decent matchups.
Yeah, no, I mean he popped off last week. So the targets were good. It's just do you have the trust in Geno Smith and the Raiders offense as a whole and performing a little bit better than Jacoby Myers too. So we'll see. I still like that idea and we'll talk about it at the end, like you said. I guess so no other receivers,
I
probably.
was gonna actually maybe throw in one last one, Sterling Shepard. All right, he looked pretty good actually this last week, coming off 5 targets, 4 catches for 80 yards. So you just never know, especially with the Mike Evans injury, at least for a couple weeks here, he could be getting a lot of targets. So deeper league, I'd be willing to pick up Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, that's fair. And then also another big injury was CD Lamb. So um he's gonna be out. I know I saw for sure this upcoming week. So I know obviously Pickens is pretty much taken in, or he is taken in every league about, but maybe put him on the back, bet Turpin at Tolbert, potentially. Just if you really, like you said, those deeper leagues, you really need some people. Maybe pick up Turpin's not a bad idea, but don't put much on him and Tolbert, same thing. So just
Agreed.
some random names out there, but you never know. So,
Never know with the injuries. All
yep.
right, some tight ends. Ryan, who you got as your tight end pickup of the week?
Yep, my tight end pickup for this week is none other, and I did it actually before last week, which I was super happy about in the league. Hunter Henry, on the Patriots, he was the tight end number one actually yesterday. We'll see how tonight shapes up, but I don't believe Laporta nor Mark Andrews will pass him. But he had a line of 8 targets or 8 catches, sorry, 8 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, that's PPR wise 29 points. So he's his second week in a row too, where he hit double digit scoring. And obviously week one wasn't that good. But that was when Drake May was kind of warming up a little bit. So I do believe he could have some consistent numbers. I know we were talking about that though with Jawan Johnson last week, and he ended up kind of stinking it up a little bit. But so if you have some money to spend, I would say Hunter Henry probably could be the biggest pickup waiver wire wise this week, in my opinion, aside from maybe Trey Benson. So, did you have any others? I guess tight end wise, quickly, Charlie.
We're in agreement there. Dalton Kincaid's available in our league, but he's probably not available in most of your leagues.
Yeah,
Be willing to go pick him up. I think he had 6 catches this last weekend. One, maybe 2 touchdowns. I can't remember back to Thursday night. But other names that come to mind that you don't really need to spend any fab on, Kate Otten, just because we mentioned Mike Evans' injury, he could be seeing more of a target share. We saw that last year with the injuries. Baker started to target him more.
Mhm.
And then, hate to mention this one, but you never know. Go pick up Isaiah Likely. It sounds like he's going to be playing this coming, not Monday night because we're talking on Monday night. I think he's going to play next week.
Yep.
So something to watch out for. He was super talented last year, especially if he needed tight end help. He could end up being end at the end of the year.
Oh, that's a good, yeah. He will probably end up turning out to be decently well too. So those are good throw-ins there at the end. Kincaid, yeah, he had a good week on Thursday night. So, but he's probably not available in most leagues. But those are good. Those are good call-outs. So
Before we jump into some fab, Ryan, I got some defensive matchups for this coming week. Touch on those quick.
the defensive matchups, the
Yep.
fab. Yep.
Our league
Um,
actually last night before the Lions had played, I actually went and picked up the Lions defense because I know next week that they get to play the Cleveland Browns. That's a good matchup to target. The Chargers get to play the Giants. Vikings play the Steelers.
yeah,
Patriots play the Panthers. But
yeah. The Vikings defense is crazy last night or yesterday, obviously. So who knows? Hopefully, we keep that up against the Steelers. But those are good matchups so far.
yeah, hopefully that continues. But, quarterback. If one of those guys that we talked about, Daniel Jones, Drake May, if they're out there, you need a quarterback. How much you willing to spend on those?
Daniel Jones could be a little bit higher than the others if he's out there. Drake, May, I guess Drake May too. I'd say I'd have him pretty even, honestly. Um, I don't know. Maybe it would honestly go upwards about 10-5 in $100 league for either of them if they're out
Yeah,
there. Like they are good. So what would you do, Chuck?
yeah, up to 10. It depends. If there's like a bunch of options out there, probably not so much. I'd throw
Yeah.
like a couple of lower options and just hope to get one of them. Yeah, no, I'd be willing to go up to.
hmm Okay. All right. Those are good. $10. And
All
the
right.
other the other QBs, I probably would
No,
not
I mean, I
spend
don't
much
think I mean,
on it all.
yeah,
So,
$1
um,
maybe.
I think one of the big questions here, I'll let you answer first, maybe put you on the spot, I guess. Trey Benson, how much would you put down for 5 on him?
All right. This is the big juicy one. There's some sickos out there in our league that are probably listening just for this.
It will,
Um,
including
you,
myself.
there's other running back injuries that could possibly happen at the end of the year, so you don't want to necessarily go blow it all on one guy. Just say next week, Aaron Williams goes down to injury. Like Corum could be that next big pickup in case you're a sicko that's gonna go spend up on the. I'm just kidding. He knows who I'm talking about. I'd probably go depending on your need. If you need a running back, I'd be willing to go probably 60% of your fab if you're in a $100 league, 60 ball. About you?
Yeah, 61. No, just kidding. uh, no, I agree though. I probably would spend either about half or a little bit more than half on Trey Benson. Um, he
And then if
has,
you,
yeah, like I think he just has the ability, especially as like a dump off QB. And that's what James Conner did. And the receivers are struggling there as well as their tight ends too. I think they'll target Benson quite a bit. So I could really see him doing pretty well. So I'd say yeah, 50% of your 5 or 60%. It's not a bad idea. Or 61%, whatever one you want.
wasn't expecting that answer. That caught me off there a little bit, but
Sorry.
if you are the James Conner owner and you need that help, just go spend a little bit. You got to get him.
I know I'm a James Conner owner, so I might have to get that out. But it's also in the guillotine league, and that's not going to help too well because I have no money left. But
You're saying?
I was just saying I had James Conner in the Guillotine League, and I have no money left for picking up anybody because I spent it all week one. But I spent it well. Caleb Williams, wow, 30 points yesterday. That was something.
It's crazy, and you got Jameer Gibbs here.
You know, we'll see how that
Okay.
goes.
All right. Trey Tucker. You lost. You lost CD or Mike Evans.
How much? Sorry, what you saying with the CD or Mike Evans? How much did you spend on Trey Tucker? My bad on my audio, Chuck. It's been cutting out a little bit. We're good.
No, it's probably mine. So yeah, how much would you spend on Trey Tucker if you were, especially one of those guys that has Mike Evans or CD Lamb?
Yeah, this one's I'm a little bit probably a little bit more conservative on, honestly. Um, I would probably do just 15% max on Trey Tucker. I would say it's kind of just a one game thing, and like you were talking about earlier with the Raiders offense, you never really know what could happen with G&T also wanting the ball a little bit more. But I know if you have one of those two guys, I still just wouldn't bite on it a lot. And there would be some other receivers that are kind of still out there, and um, that's the thing too. Like probably a decent amount of people spent money on Wan'Dale Robinson last week, and he ended up kind of also having a stinky game last night. So just like our shiny turds on Friday. But anyways, so no, I would probably just do about 15%, 15%
50.
on Trey Tucker. Would you do a little bit more or what?
No, I just was making a joke because you accidentally said 50. I think I'm in agreement with how much I'd spend there too. I doubt anyone's really dying to get a wide receiver on their deeper
Yeah,
league. If you're in a deeper league and he's out there, obviously, I'm sure you have a guy on your bench that's probably about the same level of wide receiver as Trey Tucker. So those wide receivers at his level, you don't really need to spend that much on them, honestly.
I agree with that. That's a good point. If you probably have a similar level receiver to Trey Tucker on your bench, like Charlie was saying there. That's a good point. So maybe like 10, 15%. Obviously, when Mike Evans goes on the bye, it could be a little bit tougher, but we'll figure it out. So
Agree. All right. Hunter Henry, big pickup of the week. I think that actually will continue for the foreseeable future. Drake Mays, comfort blanket. How much would you be willing to spend?
on Hunter Henry, I just think is just a little bit. He has 2 weeks in a row, but so did Juwan Johnson. So that's a little bit tougher, obviously. But Drake May is kind of proven. Henry is also a proven tight end. And he's been around for a little while. There's not a whole other. Diggs has been struggling, but yeah, this one it's a little bit worrisome with Juwan Johnson not doing well yesterday, and who knows what really could happen if you spend a lot. So again, I'd probably do about 20% of my fob, 15, 20 at the most, honestly. But how about you, Chuck?
Might not even go that high unless like that's the tight end
Yeah, no,
in our
10%
league.
better. Yeah, that's good.
It's tough when you look at our league because I do like Kincaid better than him. They're both. It's like you really need a tight end. You probably don't need to go that high. But if he's like the only good option out there, I am in agreement with you.
No, that's a good point, actually. I'd say, yeah, listen to Charlie Moore on this one. I wouldn't go 20% on him. Even 15 is a little bit high, too. I do agree. No, I'll take that one back. But yeah, obviously, if you don't have a good tight end, maybe a little bit more, but I wouldn't see him going for too much. So,
No, that does it for us here today. If you have any questions, like we got a random question, we feel free to reach out. We're
yes, feel free to reach out. That's good stuff. Let's
it's
go.
like and subscribe and appreciate you all listening.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good one, Chuck. Enjoy the game
You
tonight.
too. Take care.
Bye.